So for the past 3 weeks, we had a deep dive on infographics, because this is one thing that you find in websites, but not very often you find that on proposals. So we looked into different types. Then you say, okay, if you are creating one, what's a framework that you can use? And more importantly, when Gauge is the tool. So you can have up to 5 infographics for free, and then it's just a little bit more on the top up and you can get it there. So infographics, definitely. What that also meant is we also went and saw different types of graphs, different like pie chart. Where do you use pie chart? Where do you use bar chart? Where do you use technograms, and where do you use this cartograph, mind maps, and so many other things. So it's also mean that now we have a good understanding of different types of graphs and what can we use. So it's a very good, very, very good summary. Since we covered design principle, accessibility and stuff, it's a nice flow up. Now when you design anything, so interestingly, I had a long chat with my web designer saying them, hey, none of our content that we produce is following any of the accessibility principles. Why? And ensure you go back and change the fonts, minimum 18. Don't add video editor. He came back with stuff. I told him one slide, one message, or if you're adding more, it should at least be 18. So bullet points, bits and pieces. So again, application of that is always going to be tricky, because we are so fine-tuned into how we do things ourselves. But when we think it from the other perspective, that's what you have. So the whole point of infographics and graphics that we cover is, hey, we might be good in doing things, but when we go and apply that into from the reader's perspective or from the user's perspective, we might need to tweak a bit. So you might be very good in reading and using it, but you might not understand the nitty-gritty of doing it. And then comes in between, which is like how you are going to bring both together. That's what we found about infographics. So have a look. Today, I thought I'll introduce Canva, because every now and then we say some of the tools. Canva is not AI powered, but Canva does have few tools that are AI powered, but those AI powered tools are not free. So we are going to look into Canva. It's a very, very simple tool. If you haven't used it, use it, because most of the people who come out with the very quick stuff, they rely on Canva. So you could get a lot of interesting stuff from Canva. We are going to look into that. As you can see here, you can do documents, which is what we care about, but you can also have whiteboards, presentations, any social media related stuff, video editing. Then also if you want to print websites, all these things. We're going to look very, very quickly what we have there, and we're going to go more deeper. There are 3 things that you're going to find very, very useful when we touch Canva, which will also cover. Number one is, there are a lot of existing content already available about Canva, and I don't want to sit and create another kind of content where you could easily find those information in YouTube, or Canva already has shared some of these things. So 3 things which I suggest you do immediately after this class or when you are going to Canva. Number one is the learn button. As you can see here, in part of it, you're going to find learn on the top. Click the learn button, you're going to find 3 different things. Number one is there are specific things if you want to create any specific, because again, when it comes to design, marketing design also comes with it. And so that's where you'll find all these things here. So resume maker, you might be interested on that one. Think about it. Poster maker, similar to infographics. You can also look into that. All these things. Photo collage, I've actually started because my family is coming back in 2 days' time. So I was playing with the photo collage. I know that even Google does it, normal Google. I was playing with that, just with the photos that I have, to just see what happens. Again, curiosity should always be the key here, because you never know when you're going to use it. There's no point going and doing a course if you're not implementing it, because I know a lot of people come to us, especially in the Asia, they hardly do anything I teach them, but they just come here for the certificate, which you're just going to tweak it, they add it, get some likes and comments, and they go. That's not what I want you to do. So the very first thing is, if you go back on the menu, you have learn. Some of very interesting things. I'll share what I found useful so that you can also look into that. The second one is in the main bar itself, you have search. So don't be shy, search anything, right? Even though it might not be in the menu, each of those menu. If we'll click and we'll look into individual stuff here, and you will have some sub-headlines, sub-sections within each. But there might be something that you're looking for, say proposal cover, proposal back cover, proposal front cover, what do you call meeting minutes, notes, anything like that. You have a template here. There are hundreds and thousands of templates here, right? So we can just go back and use it. So please do search that. The other one that you'll find here is within the Canva portal, on the side, you're going to find a little box like that. When you click that help button, it comes out with another thing. These are kind of frequently asked questions. Since I've just I opened it, like, when was it, a few days ago over the weekend. It immediately, what will people ask? Since obviously it's asked me to upgrade, which I'll also share what the upgrade options are. It tells you, recommended options. You cancel, pausing, why have been charged, delete account. So this is where AI kicks in, right? So it knows that you are a new user. As a new user, it hasn't worked out your pattern yet. It hasn't worked out what are you searching for. So if you keep on searching documents related stuff, then this is where your question changes. Because it's a new user that comes in. So 3 important places where you could get your answers for beyond the slide. Because again, slide, I deliberately haven't added anything in because there's no point. I take from there, copy paste here, make the file size of the slides really high. It's already going to be there, right? So 3 things. One is a learn in the menu. The second one is a search bar. And the third one is help button. You're going to find everything there, everything. So before we get into Canva, they have 3 options. And as you can clearly see, it's not going to break your bank. So with hundreds of templates, you can, so let's look at the free one first. 250,000 free templates, right? So you are going to have a lot of things. Obviously, Canva is working with Midjourney as well. So many of their content is now a part of Midjourney, which means the source details are coming out. Midjourney already took it anyway. So now they are having a formal partnership on this. So Canva is there, but Canva already has their own tools. The trouble is, we live in a world where if we don't use the word AI powered, people think, oh, it's outdated. So obviously Canva also say they have AI powered design tools, Magic Write, Magic Design, Magic Edit, etc. Which if you go back and search, it's not as magic as you talk about, but it's there for you. The important thing, 250,000 templates, right? And then you can then customize it based on, hey, I'm doing this template for printing. I'm doing this template for social media, for websites, etc. Then it automatically resizes it, which is even super cool. So presentations and stuff. So that's the main thing, right? So a cool free access to the templates that you have, that just go and do it, right? You can add text, you could do anything, but you can just start from there. Very good. The next one is slightly little bit upgrade. So when you're looking into these templates, obviously there are a lot more templates that might be available, that are available actually, but that fits into what we call the pro version. So it just, when you click those image, it comes out with, oh, this is a pro content, etc. So again, it's for $12.99 if you're a 1-person proposal whiz. This could be a big help for you, because low-cost tools like this is going to save you a lot of time. Even if you have the Adobe Cloud details, etc., Adobe Firefox, which we had a look, Firefly, sorry, and then Adobe Express. If you haven't tried it, it's good, because recently, if you see 1 or 2 LinkedIn posts, I'm actually using Adobe Firefly and Adobe Express. So you can take the image from Adobe Firefly, and then you could add the text or make some cool effects with Adobe Firefly, Adobe Express. So try that. But obviously, when it comes to formal proposals and different types of things, you might need some other tools. So here we are, Canva Pro. Again, a lot of content. The point here with Canva Pro is brand kit. We'll also have a look into that. Obviously, I don't have Canva Pro. So more and more I learn design. I'm just wondering, do I need to have a designer? Because it's yes, it takes 1 hour for me, but I can do what I want and I can get a lot more flavors on it. So a brand kit. So you can look into this, and you will question yourself if you have a designer within your team. Then if you have a branded items, this is we already look into your colors. If we talked about branding different colors, and if you already have those things, then it makes it easy. So brand kit allows you to add all those things in, and then you can automatically choose your templates accordingly. It updates it. So that's one thing, a little upgrade, but it customizes for your branding, right? So then in the previous one, it's more or less about text-based, free one, whereas here video kicks in, right? Video kicks in, and then editing it's slightly up. So it's, for example, you could go back and remove the background. You could go back and remove that particular person within this, but keep the other person, other environment, etc., etc. Those are the things that it's come with it. So that's there. Canva Teams, obviously, if we have, the price point, as you can see here, is for 2 people. It's £25 nearly, but it just tells you, okay, if you have 2 or more people, you better get for Canva Teams, and you can go with that. Again, why? I don't think any team requires, a lot more access to it, because you're going to find 1 or 2 designers, or in more cases, proposal manager is going to do it. So those are the 3 options I thought I landed before I actually open it. So when you register immediately, it's going to tell you this. Baskar, you just started. Remember, you have a free 30-day trial, which you can go back and use it. Since I am not actively creating designs all the time, I did. But if I do, then you can simply go for it. Obviously, with monthly, yearly, it just comes. It's a £99, or it could be maybe $120 or something for you, or it could be just $99 for you. Sometimes they might just replace dollars and pounds as one sign, but that means you immediately get a 30% discount because of dollar appreciation. That's there. So it kind of tells you what happens, and then when does your subscription start. So very, very clean. How often do you find? I always tell this to my team. We have a new member. And her team subscribed to our Scribble portal recently, $25 a month. And I wish we do like this, right? Oh, you subscribe. We used to do free trial, but now we removed it. You come on board and you clearly tell people what it is. So this is Canva. It's being used by, I won't say thousands, millions of people. So there should be something right on it. And let's go back and have a look. I've written some of these things, and I started to pull content, but then I thought I'm just repeating myself. So I'm going to stop, and I'm going to show you Canva, the tool itself. And let's just go from there. So let's share Canva. Okay, so this is Canva. So primarily, what it happens is you go to the main page. I have logged in. I've created a free account. So that's why you have the B here. But when you log in, click the main page. This is what you're going to get. As I mentioned, there are 3 support resources for you immediately. Number 1 is the help button. You go back and see, you can search here. Say I'm searching proposal cover. It tells me uploading and submitting in Canva Creator license to do. So I'm just wondering, hey, I asked for proposal cover. What have you written here? So that's not coming out as I wanted. So I'm going to go and say proposal cover here. So now it's just going to tell me something. It tells me, proposal cover, it's here. So obviously it says try Magic Design Beta. Magic Design Beta, as you know, is a pro version. So, if you have a proposal that's due in the next 3-4 weeks, you can subscribe, get a free trial for 30 days, make a cool proposal with all the new features, then you unsubscribe. If you want to play with it, you play with it. So that's it. So primarily here you have to do it manually in the way like it's still a template, but you can just keep and add few things. So let's go back and have a look. So right here, I've just searched proposal cover. I know I've jumped in something. Proposal cover, it tells me, hey, what do you need? I've pretty much got proposal cover in all these things, but I don't need for all the stuff. I just need it maybe for docs, for example. Then it just filters what's relevant just for docs. As you can clearly see here, it suddenly became very dry from what we have. So always choose, don't be restricted by what you do. Always choose something cool. All right. So in that way, you have some very interesting covers that comes with it. So anyway, so looks like the search button in the middle gives you a lot more better reasons, templates than what you're doing. I just thought, just go back and create anything. I need to have a minutes meeting. I need to have a project plan, anything like that. Just go back and see organization structure. So many things. So let's do that. So next, what do we have? So so you have search here, and then you have thing here. Then you have the learn button here. In learn, this is where you have all these things. Let's start with the blog, because I find a blog very, very useful. The blogs are actually categorized into 4 or 5 different stuff. So one, obviously, they are just talking about branding, design aspects, which is very, very, it talks about designs on everything. Marketing is where I want you to focus on. There are lots of interesting things here, what you can do with marketing. Please do have a look. Branding, obviously, we looked into branding before, but this is like high-end stuff, which I don't think we're requiring. Interestingly, non-profit has its own section, so you have to think. So what I will find, if you work in the government and non-profit sector, especially education and stuff, you're going to find specific things for here. So you're going to find, if you are operating in the education sector, you might see how Canva actually operates with a lot of schools, giving them how they could quickly create the course materials, templates, how they connect to their own LMS and other things. So again, it's something. So I strongly suggest, just go back at a very minimum, look into the marketing point. But if you're doing non-profit and stuff, it gives you specifically, because non-profit obviously don't have budget, but they still want to, that's the one way that they need to be looking cool to get funding from the others, which means they need to have some amazing marketing collaterals to do it. So again, have a look into that. You might find some very, very good ideas on this, right? See here, I try to make it an accessible, inclusive, etc. I just find that. So that's your blogs. But what we have here is also tutorials and courses. If you are somebody, as I mentioned, who are interested in getting a certificate, this is where you come out with, So you can complete some of these courses and you could get some certificates out of Canva. So again, they have it here. So, I did all these things for me personally. If you spend an hour or two with the actual tool, you're going to get all these things, but it's not going to take a lot of your time. You can just go and do it, but but tutorials I found much more useful compared to the actual courses. If you want to scan again these courses, it's not going to take a lot of time. Just go back and familiarize yourself. But tutorials are interesting because they're much more pointed. Canva docs, this will be very useful. I did that. And then you find the some of the features in Canva. So again, browse through these things, because I don't want to repeat, copy paste and say, hey, these are the Canva 101, etc. It's already there, and this looks much better than what we can do. So it's fine there. So again, so not everything might be useful to you, but at the very minimum on the top, it might be useful to you. So the second point here on the learn side is your courses. Then if you want to have on the live events, it's here. Help you already saw. Then if you want to just make it very, very specific on creating something, it's your resume maker. Is interesting. Please do have a look because it's very creative. So even though we looked into a couple of tools already for this, also try this, creating your resume, So what happens, and you can just make it in your own branding if you have not brand, or with your own personality. So that's the further information. All right. So we have the information here. You can search specifically, this is what you want to do, or you could get from the help, or you could go to the learn. That's where we come in, right? So what else is available? That's the home, what we are looking here. So it tells you on the other side, what are the different things you can do with that. Number one, document. When we click document, you're going to find a breakdown, but let's have a look. It's here, whiteboards. Then it even goes. But what I have, because since it automatically found out, I was checking a lot more on documents. It's pretty much given me a little bit of overview on what documents can do, and then any other things. Remember, these are, you might want to try. This is not an extensive or exhaustive list of what it can do. Obviously, as it tells you, there are 100,000 type of different things that you can do. So anything that you work on gets stored in your projects. Brand, as you can see here, let's have a quick look at the brand. Primarily here, you could say easily set up, manage your brand with all this enrichment. At the moment, you don't want to be in different brands. But different brand, people say branding is important. Yes, it's important. Sometimes, as I mentioned, every now and then, try asymmetry, try without your brand, just so that it just creates curiosity, right? So you can upload your logo. As you can see, it doesn't allow me to do, and you can create your color palette if you already have it. Then you could decide what are the different fonts. If you already have your fonts and any images that you could do, it gets stored there. So when you are creating anything, it gets stored there. What that meant is this becomes your storage place or your knowledge library, and you could keep updating it. And then when you're doing your templates, it can take the information from here and you can start to do the templates. So that's your brand templates. If you click templates, obviously there are lots of templates. Thank God I didn't do that myself. That's why I stopped it. Again, template wise, it tells you what are the different templates that are available, right? Well, so if you want to create any messages and stuff, it's here. But predominantly, we are going to go around documents and presentations. Proposals is here. So let's click proposals. So in this case, I thought of going from the other way. Let's just do this way. So this is where you have the point. 1 second. Yeah. This is where you have the details. So I've clicked the proposals because I went to the template and clicked the proposal. The first thing you have it here, proposals. So look at the filters here. These are some of these things. So you can put up filters. So you want some tables, playful, bold, clean, minimal, modern, minimalist, simple, professional, elegant, corporate, creative, aesthetic. Just be curious. Just because it's a B2B business proposal doesn't mean it needs to be dull like this. Yes, it's minimalist, but it's dead, right? It just had a list of name, presentable, etc. Ideally, you should have the user's image here and something that's cool that people can, who is this proposal for? Who is the end user for? What can you do with it, right? Can start with something very basic, which is going to be okay. So it's getting improved here. They start to do it. And as you can see here, the template is already there. So students, marketing proposal, simple green, white, and you can go. If I pick up one, let me go back and see whether there is anything interesting. And we can use it to okay, let's just pick up something. Right. So from nothing, this will be an incremental start. But when you're looking to excellence in something, this is not going to be groundbreaking. But believe me, rather than to spend money on some designer creating proposals for 3 to 5 days, etc., you can make a start with this, right? Let's just take this, green proposal. So you can say, because people contribute to it. So obviously, some elements are paid. So customize this template. You can just go back and you can start to use this template. It's very, very simple. So you can see, okay, instead of this image, do you want to add any other image, right? It just comes here and quick, come on. Then you can see the table of contents. You could amend these text one by one. So then instead of this image, instead of this text, you can add something. You can even change the color. Boom, 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 boom. So your executive summary or anything that you're talking about, it's done in like maybe 3 hours if you have the content. right? So, that's it. Job done. So from nothing, you can create something. But if you want to have very extensive project plans, very extensive things, then you do the prep work before, use the templates, get your project plan, get your organization structure, get your value proposition, get some amazing win themes, use ChatGPT, Bard, Claude, anything, what's the punchy message that you want to give to people, key features, etc. Have all those things ready. Then use those things into what we call different images itself. Then you bring it into proposal. Boom, 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 boom. In one day, you could get a very solid graphical representation of what you're doing. So it's as simple as that. So primarily, that's it. Styles, I am a very, very high level person. So for me, I move from 0 to 10. I'm happy with it. So obviously then if I find something that's 100 out of 100, then I get upset with it, but then I calm myself down. Okay, that they might have spent a lot of money on that. They might have had different people working on this. They might have time to do it. In my case, I don't. So I have done as much as I can. That's it. So primarily, you can change the text. You can get your branding if you want to introduce your own branding kind of thing. There's $20 more, or not even $20, $12. Just go with that and stuff. So this is high level, proposal template. And you could just keep going. So, so this is the template wise, you can go back and start to look into these things here. Don't be overwhelmed. Just go back and look for what you actually need and come back with it, because you can spend a lot of time on this, but just take it. You will find your own style very quickly and pick up and you go from there. So in addition to that, let me also have a look. So you find infographics, right? So infographics, you already had a tool, but you can also have infographic templates here as well. Very, very, very simple templates. If you know the different types of infographics that we talked about, then you may be able to pick things from here, right? So how can you go? This one, see, qualitative one, and you saw the timeline one. Then we had the different elements of it here, So now you should be absolute expert in understanding how you're going to do it. Get these infographics, then take it and dump it in Canva. So sometimes if you're just doing infographics on its own, it's better. But if you're adding infographics, other things, obviously you can go back and upload infographics that you have created there to here. But just for the fonts and consistency on the spacing and stuff, you can just go from here. So as you can see here, some are free, some are pro. So just be mindful, and you have different themes here. Yes. So that's another template which might be very, very useful for you. And then let me go back and find something else. So resume you already covered. The others are related to marketing. That's okay. So presentation, I haven't used the presentation here, but it has presentation. So the good news is I wasn't aware that you can actually take your presentation and make it mobile friendly. So I experimented some of my stuff, and I thought, is it mobile friendly? No, it's not at all. So this could be very, very useful if you take some of your content and then you just say, okay, there will be people who will be looking into that from the mobile, which meant, as you can see here, the screen is not like your laptop screen, it's a different screen. How are you going to do it, right? So use this for that one, because for me, the awareness started to kick in, like, the content that I use is more or less desktop version, but what if we provide a mobile-friendly version of that as well? So now, obviously, there are free and there are pro versions, and you can start to do from there presentation. Otherwise, you're going to find a lot of presentation templates, and you can go from there. Documents, there are different breakdowns of documents. So, in the UK, we have A4, but, in the US, you have your own stuff, and you can just simply go and do it. Document, come on, I missed it. Come on, document. Yeah, documents. So, because there's too much information here, you might miss out on other things. So this is what I talked about, right? So in the document section, you have forms, you have business plans, you have executive summaries, cover pages, meeting minutes, meeting agendas, press releases, and so. Right? So example, executive summary, just go back and have a look at executive summary. See? You might have it as a template, but here it's written on, customized it. When you click the button, you can also have spacing. You could have relevant spacing if you can just go with that. But again, these templates, obviously Canva has made it like a marketplace, which meant most of the templates are not created by Canva, but it's created by somebody else. So that's the reason, some are free, some are paid. So you can have it, just have a look into those things. But you should spend at least 3-4 hours without doing anything just to navigate what Canva does, right? So as I mentioned, documents. Don't just think you have got everything in docs. There are documents, and these are, as I mentioned, are recommended categories. When you go back and search something, it goes even more. That's where it comes in here, right? So again, click business, you find all the breakdown of what you can do with that. As a starting point, this will be a good one, right? So documents, we already covered. Presentation, we saw. Whiteboards, ish. I don't think you'll be using business cards, but if you're starting something new, that might be useful. Websites, graphs, planners, calendars, all these things. Simply you can just do it. Proposals, that's something that I'm sure your mind will go there. Reports is another thing that you can work on. And gradually you can just go back to the other elements of different things. As you can see here, this is the different categories. The moment you click business, all these things comes here. So is that the only one? No, there are minefield. You have marketing, as I mentioned. Education is another one. So educational presentations, education videos, education whiteboard, worksheets, storyboards. If you are working within your team, and if you want to create something that's easily like, what are the issues within the client? How are we going to solve these key issues? What are the new stuff that we are going to do? Bingo. Here is your storyboarding and your the messages that you can convey in different formats. Remember, we did use rich picture, which you are writing it, but here you have templates that you can start to use it. So you can simply print it and leave it to people's desk and say, hey, I want you to fill this. So the very basic is templates like this, where you can start to see, okay, this is a template. What can you do from there? So very, very useful. I haven't experimented this much, but look into education. Don't miss that up, because it might be because, as I mentioned, part of the problem is I created something very interesting today. I sent it to my team. As expected, only one came back, and then she said, what is this? I don't get it. So I was disappointed because I thought I produced something amazing. So you're always going to have this gap. At least she was honest in telling me that. Imagine I went on and posted this about something new that we are launching next week. So that's why, that templates like, education helps it, because when you're working on your own, you have to go with what good looks like, and you just go with it. But when you have a team or something, that's where that particular stuff kicks in. So that's where you find here. So you heard the same thing here. The templates is broken down on the top. Business, all these things in, right? Case studies. Then you have education. This is for the schools and other stuff. But again, don't be bogged down by that. Many of the stuff that you have here, you can also use it for your own thing. So in business, plan and schedule content, asset management, brainstorms and workshop, which we looked into, productivity and workflows. So again, we can go on and on and on and on, and it comes with this. So obviously this looks like Canva already, gradually trying to productize some of these things itself. But in general, there is a lot that you could cover with this. So let me summarize very quickly before we close. Canva takes you from 0 to somewhere. And that somewhere is totally up to your own design aesthetic. So there will be people who will be using Adobe InDesign, Adobe Illustrator, some Adobe cool tools, with a lot of customization, and that might look cool, but obviously that takes time. You have to take the information, translate to somebody, and that somebody then picks it up, and that they do it, then comes out with it. And those person has always done that for a long time, but you haven't. So what's the balance? Whereas this one takes you from zero. When you are constrained with resources, at the same time, when you don't have the capability in-house, what can you do? This is where this comes in, right? So takes it, explore it, as I mentioned. Just go with it. There are 3 learning parts. You can learn here, you can learn here, and you can search and learn here. Anything that you do automatically gets stored in your projects. So it will start to learn. That's where the AI kicks in, so that it will automatically try to say, hey, this is what you have searched in the past. What can I do more for you? And this is some new templates that we have added in your chosen areas. That you can. I wish I can go back. When you register, obviously Canva asked you, hey, who are you? What is it you are interested in? But I thought when I logged in, what happens? But your recommendation you might want to try comes from that initial spread, but it's still there. But it could be better, But because the amazing thing is it has a lot of information, but you should spend time to do it. But again, if there is anything new designs that have been posted, you might not know it's new, right? So it's a journey. It's a journey. I just want you to try that. As you can see here, me, one person, try Canva Pro, and you could get a lot more. With Canva Pro, as you can see here, when I click it, it just tells me anything that you upload, you could clean up. If you're doing videos, it helps. Magic Write, it also helps you. As you can see here, based on the images, you could also add 1 or 2 words that comes in, because obviously there are enough writing tools that you can do. Most important thing about Canva Pro is the brand kit. You can customize it based on your branding. That's the thing. Otherwise, it's all yours. There are tons and tons of learning materials here, but the moment you can easily skim read them and you can understand, then you realize, okay, fine, you still need to go spend time yourself. Why did I went and did this? Right? So take a template and do it. See what you can do with the template, and whether it's a timeline that you're working on, whether it's a project plan, or whether it's a project and proposal cover that we look into that. Go and search those things. As you can see here explicitly, it won't be there, but I'm just typing project timeline. So it just tells me, hey, what are the different project timelines? I'm just searching project timeline, comes up, all these things are here for you, right? So there are other tools that are similar to it, but Canva, as I mentioned, is going to take you from zero to somewhere. Now, again, I don't want to say it's going to take 50%, 60%, because that depends on who you are, but it takes it to somewhere. And very, very quickly, you can start to do things, right? So infographics is another thing that you can try. But where the success comes in for you is, you take all these individual images. Okay, I'm taking this from timeline. I'm taking this from infographic. I'm taking this from the other element that I'm designing, and like storyboards or something. Then I'm bringing it all together into executive summary template, and I add check. That's it. So it's a slightly extensive task, and I don't think you can do all those things in the next 48 hours when we catch up. But I still want you to at least go back and create at least your resume, and maybe go back and see your timeline and just be curious. Spend an hour or 2 on this. That's all I'm asking it for. But that's Canva, a very, very extensive database of things used by a lot of people, and there are a lot of resources available. So don't get bogged down. As I mentioned, even though you go and put yourself in all these courses, end of the day, you still need to go back and check where are these things, and you need to get your hands dirty. So instead, I suggest go back, get your hands dirty, and then you can just go back and then see, okay, that's new. That's something that I don't know, and I learned that's new. So tutorials are the best place to do it over there. That's it for today. Canva, I thought I'll introduce Canva, just play with Canva. It's going to take some time, as you can see here. Photos, icons, you can just go back. I haven't even covered 10% of what Canva can do. But again, there's no point me taking another 3 sessions going deep dive on Canva when it's totally up to you to do that, because it's principles that we are focusing on and introducing the tools. And I just want you to begin the journey. That's it. So wish you all the very best in playing with Canva, and I'll catch up with you again on the next time.